The morning began like any other. Cities buzzed with life. Cars moved quickly, people hurried to work, and children played in parks. The sun rose over Earth, bright and calm. No one expected that this peace was about to end forever. In a small city, a young scientist named Dr. Alan Pierce was preparing for his day. He worked at a research lab that studied space phenomena. Alan loved looking at the stars. He often said, "One day, someone or something will come from there." He never imagined that the stars would answer so soon and so violently. At exactly 9:03 a.m., the sky suddenly changed. People stopped walking, cars froze, and birds scattered. A massive shadow covered the city. It was unlike anything anyone had seen before. A giant alien ship, bigger than any building, hovered silently above. Its surface was dark, metallic, and shimmered like liquid metal. The air around it vibrated slightly, creating a low hum. Panic spread instantly. Sirens wailed, people screamed, and phones rang endlessly. Alan ran to the lab's observation window and could hardly believe his eyes. More ships appeared, each one bigger than the last. Soon, dozens of alien vessels hovered over every major city on Earth. The world's armies scrambled jets, missiles, and satellites. But none of it mattered. From the first ship, a beam of blue light shot down. Buildings melted as if touched by fire, but no fire appeared. Streets turned into molten rivers. Cars, homes, and offices were destroyed instantly. People screamed and ran, but the light moved faster than anyone could escape. It was death made real, precise, and terrifying. In Washington, D.C., the president watched from a secure bunker. The generals were panicked. They spoke quickly, trying to make sense of what was happening. "Missiles are useless," one said. "Our weapons cannot harm them. They are too strong, too advanced." The president, pale and silent, realized that Earth's fate was sealed. Meanwhile, in London, a family tried to hide in their basement. Children clung to their mothers, crying. Fathers held them tightly, whispering promises they could not keep. The streets above exploded, sending shockwaves through the city. Glass shattered, walls crumbled, and the world as they knew it vanished in minutes. Back at the lab, Alan and his team scrambled to gather data. The computers flashed with alien signals, patterns that no one understood. "They are scanning us," Alan whispered. "We are being studied." Like ants under a magnifying glass, his assistant Mira shook her head in fear. Why? Why are they doing this? Alan had no answer. He only knew that humanity had no weapons to fight back. The alien ships moved in perfect coordination. Entire armies vanished within moments. In Tokyo, thousands of soldiers fired at the hovering vessels. Lasers, tanks, and fighter jets were all destroyed in seconds. It was as if the aliens could predict every move humans made. Earth's strongest weapons were nothing against them. The skies were filled with smoke and fire. The oceans boiled near coastal cities as alien beams struck. Mountains crumbled, forests burned, and deserts turned to dust. Within hours, the world had changed completely. Major cities were unrecognizable. Civilization had collapsed in an instant. In a small village in Africa, an old man named Kato watched the sky turn red. He remembered the stories his grandfather told him about invaders long ago, but nothing could have prepared him for this. He gathered the children nearby and whispered, "We must hide. The world has ended. Only the strong survive." Kato's voice shook, but his words carried determination. Meanwhile, the elite military leaders tried one last desperate plan. They launched nuclear missiles, aiming to hit the largest ships. The missiles sped toward the aliens, lighting the sky, but the ships did not explode. They absorbed the blasts, converting them into energy. A single alien beam shot down and vaporized the launch sites. There was no hope. In space, the alien command fleet moved like a single mind. Ships communicated instantly. surrounding the Earth with perfect formation. Each vessel was armed with weapons humans could not even imagine. Some emitted beams that could split continents. Others sent pulses that disrupted electronics and communication. Humans could no longer even talk to each other. Back on Earth, small pockets of survivors ran into underground tunnels, abandoned bunkers, and forests. Alan, Mira, and their team found a hidden lab beneath the city. They lit lanterns and checked the computers. The screens displayed alien symbols and strange blueprints. Alan realized something horrifying. These invaders were not just conquering Earth, they were collecting resources, studying life, and preparing to expand further. Hours passed, and the skies remained full of alien ships. The oceans, mountains, and cities were wrecked. The human population was devastated. Those who survived were scattered, hungry, and terrified. News channels, social media, and global networks were gone. Humanity was cut off from itself. At night, the aliens hovered. Silently, beams of light scanned the ground. People hiding in forests could see the glow from miles away. It was a constant reminder. Humans were being watched, studied, and hunted. No one dared make noise. No one dared fight. Survival was the only thought in every mind. In New York, a firefighter named Marcus led a group of civilians through the subway tunnels. He had lost his family in the attacks and felt nothing but anger and fear. "We cannot stay above ground," he said. "They are everywhere. If we move carefully, maybe we survive the night." His voice was steady, but his hands shook. Outside, the city burned, a ruined skeleton of its former self. Alan, Mira, and Marcus crossed paths in the tunnels. They exchanged information quickly. Alan explained the alien tech he saw. Marcus told them what he had witnessed on the streets. Mira suggested using some of the lab equipment to study alien signals. The three formed an unlikely team, determined to find a way to fight back, even if the odds were impossible. Days passed. Food ran low. Water became scarce. The aliens did not sleep. Their patrols were constant. Yet humans began to adapt. Some learned to avoid the light beams, moving at night. Others discovered the aliens were strong, but not invincible, if approached carefully. Every small survival was a victory. Then came the first message from the aliens. It appeared on screens, floating in the air, glowing in strange colors. It was simple, clear, and terrifying. "You belong to us. Resistance is meaningless. Earth will be ours." The message spread panic among survivors. Families wept. Soldiers who remained surrendered. Entire nations fell silent. Yet, in the underground tunnels, a spark of defiance emerged. Alan whispered, "If they think we are finished, they are wrong. Humans never give up." Mira nodded, eyes shining with determination. Marcus clenched his fists. "Then we fight, somehow." Outside, the alien ships moved slowly over ruined cities. Their shadows covered the land. They were calm, calculating, and patient. Earth had fallen, but the human spirit, though battered, was not yet broken. Somewhere, deep beneath the ruins, the seeds of resistance were being planted. That night, Alan looked up at a crack in the ceiling where moonlight peeked through. He thought about the stars and the universe beyond. "They came for us," he said quietly, "but they will learn one thing. Humans are never truly defeated." As the alien fleet hovered above, scanning the planet, the camera of fate seemed to focus on Earth. A world destroyed, a species terrified, yet a few determined souls ready to fight back. Somewhere in the shadows, plans began to form. Small lights flickered in bunkers, tunnels, and abandoned labs. Hope, fragile but real, whispered among the survivors. The fall of Earth was complete. Civilization had crumbled. Cities burned. Millions were gone, but humanity, even in hiding, had not yet surrendered. And somewhere far above the clouds, the aliens could not yet see the storm that was quietly gathering below. The first chapter of humanity's fight had begun. And the universe would soon witness a species that would not bow, no matter how powerful the enemy. The world had changed. Earth, once full of life, now lay in ruins. Cities were ashes, forests were blackened. Oceans boiled in some places, and mountains had crumbled under alien attacks. Yet, deep underground, humanity still lived. Small pockets of survivors had gathered in tunnels, bunkers, and abandoned labs. Among them, a spark of hope began to flicker. In a ruined laboratory under the city, Dr. Alan Pierce worked tirelessly. The lab had survived the alien attack, shielded by underground walls. Computers hummed quietly, powered by emergency generators. Alan and his team examined alien signals collected from above. Their screens glowed with strange symbols, designs, and moving diagrams of alien ships. "Look at this," Alan said, pointing to a series of alien blueprints. "They are not just here to destroy us. They are studying us. They want our resources, our cities, and U.S." His assistant, Mira, leaned closer. "But what can we do? We have no weapons. We are tiny compared to them." Alan's eyes burned. "With determination, we may be small, but humans are clever. We can fight back, but we need a plan. And we need allies." Meanwhile, in a different part of the ruined city, Marcus, the firefighter, gathered survivors in a hidden subway tunnel. They were a mix of soldiers, scientists, families, and ordinary people. The group was tense. Every noise above ground made them jump. Every flicker of light from the alien patrols reminded them they were being watched. Marcus spoke firmly, trying to keep hope alive. "We can't fight them head on. They are too strong. But we can hide. We can survive. And if we survive, we can strike back." Some of the survivors shook their heads. They had seen friends and family die in seconds. They had felt the alien beams melt buildings and forests. "We are weak," one man whispered. "We cannot win." A child, no older than 10, tugged at Marcus's sleeve. "But my dad said humans never give up," she said softly. Her voice was small, but her words struck everyone in the room. Marcus looked at her, then at the frightened faces around him. He nodded. "Then we don't give up, we survive. That is our first battle." Back in the underground lab, Alan had a breakthrough. He discovered a way to intercept alien signals. By studying the blueprints and signals, he realized some alien machines could be hacked or reversed. This meant humans could potentially turn the alien technology against them. "This is it," Alan said excitedly. "If we can manipulate their ships, even a little, we can fight back. Not alone, but together," Mira frowned. "But we have no power, no weapons, no army." Alan smiled slightly. "We have humans, and humans are unpredictable. That is our greatest weapon." The underground network of survivors began to organize. They were scattered at first, small groups hiding in tunnels, forests, and basements. Alan, Mira, and Marcus traveled from group to group, sharing knowledge and encouraging unity. Slowly, a resistance began to form. The first missions were small but dangerous. A few survivors sneaked above ground at night to gather supplies, study alien patrols, and leave traps. Every mission was risky. One mistake could mean death. But each small success gave hope. In one daring operation, a group led by Marcus used a stolen alien vehicle to sabotage a supply convoy. They watched from the shadows as the vehicle sped past alien ships. Using a small device Alan had created, they caused the convoy to stop and self-destruct. Alien patrols arrived minutes later, but the humans had vanished into the night. Celebrations were quiet and brief. Everyone knew they were still weak, yet the victory was symbolic. It showed that humans could fight, even against the overwhelming alien forces. Alan and Mira worked day and night, studying the alien signals. They discovered patterns. The aliens scanned the planet systematically. but they underestimated humans' intelligence and creativity. Alan realized that if humans could exploit this flaw, they could gain a real advantage. One night, as Alan stared at the glowing computer screens, Mira asked, "Do you really think we can beat them?" Alan paused. He thought about the families, hiding in tunnels, the children who had seen their world destroyed, the soldiers who had fought and died. "I don't know," he said honestly, "but I know we will try. Humans never give up. That is who we are. That is our secret weapon." Marcus, meanwhile, trained survivors in secret. He taught them how to move quietly, how to avoid alien detection, and how to fight with whatever they had. Improvised weapons, traps, and strategy became their tools. They learned quickly, because survival demanded it, that as the weeks passed, the resistance grew stronger. Communication lines were established between underground bunkers. Groups shared intelligence, coordinated missions, and learned from each other's experiences. Small victories boosted morale. Every successful sabotage, every avoided patrol, every rescued survivor added to their growing confidence. But the aliens were not idle. They adapted quickly. Patrols increased. Alien drones scanned the tunnels and forests. Each human movement became riskier. The resistance knew that one misstep could bring disaster. Alan realized they needed something more. He needed a way to strike back with power, not just survive. While analyzing alien blueprints, he noticed a pattern in their energy systems. A small device, placed correctly, could disable a ship's shields temporarily. It was dangerous, experimental, and untested, but it was the first real weapon humans had against the aliens. He called a meeting of the key resistance members, including Marcus, Mira, and a few brave soldiers. "We have a chance," Alan explained. "A small chance. We can hit their patrols, steal resources, and even disable some of their ships. It won't be easy. It may cost lives. But it is our first real strike," the group debated. Fear was strong. Some argued to wait, to stay hidden. But Marcus spoke firmly. "If we do nothing, we die slowly. If we fight, we have a chance, maybe even a big chance. Humans don't wait for hope. We make it," Mira nodded. "We can do this, we must. We are the only ones left who can fight for our planet." The first mission was planned carefully. Under the cover of night, a small team sneaked into a ruined city, carrying Alan's device. They avoided alien patrols using shadows, tunnels, and abandoned buildings. Every step was tense. Every sound could be their last dot. They reached an alien supply ship parked near the city center. Alan activated the device. A pulse of energy spread. Through the ship, lights flickered. Shields dropped briefly. The humans acted quickly, setting explosives to destroy the supplies. Within minutes, the ship was in flames. Alien drones rushed in, but the humans disappeared into the underground network before they could be caught. The explosion lit the night sky. Survivors watching from hidden tunnels cheered quietly. It was a small victory, but it was proof humans could fight back. Word of the resistance spread. Other survivors joined. Skills, courage, and knowledge increased with every new member. The resistance became more organized. Supplies were stockpiled, weapons improvised, and escape routes mapped. Alan continued to study alien technology. He discovered a flaw in their communication system that could be exploited. Mira worked on creating more devices like the one used in the first strike. Marcus trained new fighters, teaching them guerrilla tactics and survival skills. Despite the victories, fear was always present. Every night, humans listened for alien patrols. Every movement above ground carried danger. They were still weak compared to the alien forces. But now there was hope, a sense of purpose, a belief that humans could fight back even against impossible odds. One day, while studying alien signals, Alan discovered a pattern in their behavior. The aliens were predictable. relying on routines and patterns. If humans could anticipate these patterns, they could plan bigger missions, strike harder, and save more lives. Mira looked at him with awe. You mean we can outsmart them? Alan smiled faintly. We have to. That is the only way. Strength alone will not win this war, but brains, courage, and humanity will. Marcus gathered the resistance leaders. We are small, but we are clever. We know this planet. We know how to hide, how to fight. We have something aliens do not have: human spirit. The resistance began planning its next moves. Small strikes turned into larger missions. Intelligence gathering became more precise. Every success strengthened the bonds among survivors. Trust, courage, and hope became their weapons. As the sun set over a ruined city, Alan, Mira, and Marcus stood together. In a hidden bunker, they looked at maps, blueprints, and alien schematics. Outside, alien ships patrolled silently, unaware that humans were learning, adapting, and growing stronger. Alan whispered, "They took our world, but they haven't taken our spirit. Not yet. And one day we will strike harder than they ever imagine." The hidden resistance had begun. Humanity, though battered and scattered, had found its strength. The fight for Earth was no longer just about survival. It was about revenge, justice, and reclaiming what was theirs. And somewhere above the clouds, the alien invaders scanned the planet, unaware that their enemy was no longer passive. Humanity was awake. Humanity was dangerous. Humanity would not surrender. The war for Earth's freedom had begun in silence, in shadows, in the hidden corners of a shattered world. And the first sparks of rebellion promised that the story of humanity's fight was only beginning. The hidden resistance had grown. From scattered survivors, it had become a small but determined force. Humans had learned to hide, to move silently, and to strike carefully. They had no grand weapons, no massive armies, but they had brains, courage, and the will to fight. Dr. Alan Pierce, Mira, and Marcus were at the center of this plan. They had gathered intelligence from previous missions, studied alien routines, and created devices that could disrupt alien technology briefly. It was not much, but it was enough for their first real attack. Alan studied the holographic map in the underground lab. "This convoy," he said, pointing to a cluster of alien ships moving toward the city, "carries energy cores and supplies. If we destroy it, we can slow their operations here for days. But it will be dangerous. The guards are elite." Marcus clenched his fists. "Then we do it. We cannot wait any longer. Every day we hide, they grow stronger. It's time to strike." Mira nodded. "We can use the device to disable shields for a short time. That's our only chance. Once it's down, explosives will finish the job." The team prepared quietly. Survivors carried homemade explosives, medical kits, and tools. Every step was precise. Any mistake could cost lives. They moved in small groups, avoiding patrols above and below ground. The city was silent, yet every shadow felt alive with danger. As they approached the convoy's path, Alan whispered, "This is it. Stay calm, stick to the plan, watch each other's backs." The convoy appeared as the sun began to rise. Alien ships glided silently above the streets, their metallic surfaces reflecting the dim light. Ground vehicles carrying supplies rolled forward, protected by drones hovering at regular intervals. The aliens were confident, almost careless. They did not expect humans to attack. Marcus led the team closer. They hid behind ruined walls and burned cars, moving silently. Mira held the device tightly, ready to activate it. Alan checked the timing. Every second mattered. Suddenly, a small drone hovered nearby, scanning the area. The team froze. "It's glowing." Eyes swept past them. For a moment, it felt like time had stopped. Then, quietly, it moved on. The humans exhaled softly. Their hearts raced, But they were ready. Mira activated the device. A pulse of energy spread through the convoy. Shields flickered, momentarily weakening. Marcus signaled the team. Explosives were placed quickly on the supply vehicles. Sparks flew. Seconds passed like hours. Then, the devices detonated. A massive explosion ripped through the convoy. Alien vehicles were destroyed, flames shooting into the sky. The ground shook. Drones tried to react, but the humans were already disappearing. Into shadows, vanishing into underground tunnels. The explosion lit the city for miles. Survivors watching from hidden bunkers cheered quietly. It was a small victory, but it showed humans could fight back. For the first time, fear turned into hope. Back in the underground lab, Alan reviewed the data. "We did it," he said quietly. "But this is only the beginning. They will retaliate. And next time, it will be worse." Sure enough, the aliens responded quickly. Within hours, patrols increased, scanning every street, every alley, and every tunnel. Drones hovered constantly. The aliens were ruthless and precise. Any captured humans were examined and never returned. Despite the retaliation, the resistance adapted. Marcus trained survivors in more advanced stealth tactics. Alan worked on upgrading devices to disrupt more alien equipment. Mira devised plans to use abandoned buildings and tunnels as traps. Every small victory built experience and confidence. Weeks passed. The resistance conducted more attacks. They hit supply lines, destroyed communication towers, and rescued captured humans. Each mission was dangerous, but each success strengthened the bonds among survivors. Trust, skill, and courage became their weapons. One night, as Alan studied alien data, he discovered something important. The aliens were predictable in their routines. They followed schedules, scanned areas systematically, and relied on the same patrol patterns. This predictability could be exploited. Mira looked over his shoulder. "So we can plan larger strikes?" she asked. Alan nodded. "Yes, we can hit them where they are weakest. Not head-on, but with precision. That is how humans survive against stronger enemies." Marcus gathered a team for the next mission. "We are small," he said, "but we are smart. We know our planet. We know how to hide. And now we know how to strike. Let's show them humans are not easy prey." The next operation targeted an alien energy station near the outskirts of the city. The resistance moved carefully, using shadows and tunnels. Alan's devices disabled shields briefly. Explosives were placed, alarms were avoided, and the station exploded in fire and smoke. Alien drones arrived, but the humans were gone before they could react. The destruction sent a message. Humans were awake, aware, and capable of striking back. It also terrified the aliens. They had never encountered such unpredictable resistance. Machines were precise, weapons powerful, yet humans were clever. They could not calculate every human move. The success boosted morale. Survivors spoke quietly of bravery and hope. Children whispered stories of heroes moving unseen through the streets. Soldiers felt pride again. Even small victories became legendary among the underground network. Alan, Mira, and Marcus met late at night in a hidden bunker. "We are improving," Alan said. "Each strike teaches us more. Each victory gives us a chance to grow stronger. But we must be careful. They will adapt." Mira frowned. "They are relentless. Every time we attack, more drones appear. They will try to crush us completely." Marcus smiled grimly. "Let them come. Humans are unpredictable. That is our strength. That is what they cannot understand." The resistance continued training. They created new devices, improved explosives, and studied alien communication. They learned to anticipate patrols, avoid drones, and move faster than the aliens expected. Every survivor became a fighter. Every mind became a weapon. Then came the first major breakthrough. Alan discovered that some alien weapons, if disrupted at the right moment, could turn against their own forces. It was a small loophole, but it was enough to plan a much larger strike in the near future. Mira and Marcus helped recruit more survivors. Farmers, engineers, teachers, and former soldiers all joined. Each person contributed skills, courage, and determination. The resistance was no longer just a small group. It was becoming an organized force, capable of coordinated action. The humans prepared for their next target, an alien command post in the city center. It was heavily guarded, surrounded by drones, and filled with elite alien soldiers. The risk was extreme, but the potential reward was enormous. If the post was destroyed, alien operations would be disrupted for days. Alan studied every angle. "We strike at night," he explained. "We use every advantage we have. Shadows, tunnels, devices, everything. Timing is critical. One mistake, and we all die." Marcus gathered the fighters. "Remember this, we are humans. We survive. We fight. We strike where they least expect, and we do not run." The night came. The resistance moved through tunnels and ruined buildings. Every step was tense. Drones hovered nearby. Alien patrols scanned the streets, but the humans were careful. Shadows became allies. Silence became a weapon. They reached the command post. Alan activated his device. Shields flickered. Explosives were planted. Mira set timers. Marcus gave the signal. Then came the explosions. Fire and smoke rose into the night. Alien drones attacked, but humans had already vanished into hidden tunnels. The command post was destroyed. Supplies, communications, and weapons were lost. For the first time, humans realized that they could change the balance, even slightly. Their first strike had been small, but now they had momentum. They had proven that humans were not helpless. Above the city, alien ships observed the destruction. Their calculations could not predict the humans' ingenuity. Confusion spread among their ranks. Machines that had always dominated suddenly felt vulnerable. In the underground bunker, survivors celebrated quietly. Alan, Mira, and Marcus looked at each other. "We have begun," Alan said. "The first strike is done. And the aliens will now know humanity fights back." Marcus clenched his fists. "We are small," he said, "but we are dangerous. And we will grow stronger. This is only the beginning." The first strike had ended, but the war had just begun. Humans had discovered their power not in brute strength, but in courage, brains, and unity. They had learned to fight smart, strike hard, and survive. Somewhere above the ruined city, alien commanders regrouped. Their calculations had failed. Their machines could not understand the human spirit. And that spirit, now awake, was ready to ignite a rebellion that would echo across the earth. The resistance had won a small battle. But more importantly, they had learned this truth. Humans never surrender. Humans never give up. And humans always fight back. The first strike had changed everything. And the hidden resistance knew that the real war was only beginning. The hidden resistance had grown stronger. Earth was still under alien control, but humans had tasted victory. The first strikes had shown that aliens were not invincible. Every destroyed supply convoy, every sabotage station, every rescued survivor had increased their confidence. And now Alan, Mira, and Marcus were planning something even bigger. "We cannot stop at Earth," Alan said, studying alien blueprints in the underground lab. "These aliens are not just here to conquer us. They have a larger empire. We strike here, and they will retaliate elsewhere. We need to take the fight to them." Mira looked doubtful. "You mean, go into space? We barely survive on Earth." Alan nodded. "Exactly. If we attack them in their territory, we have a chance to stop them before more worlds fall. And if we do it smart, we can learn their weaknesses." Marcus clenched his fists. "Then we do it. Humans don't wait for threats to come. We go to the heart of danger. That is who we are. The first step was a ship. A human-made spacecraft capable of leaving Earth's orbit would be needed. The Resistance had scavenged parts from abandoned facilities, old satellites, and wrecked alien technology. Engineers and scientists worked day and night. Finally, after weeks of effort, they completed a small but powerful ship. It was not sleek or polished. It looked patched together, almost fragile. But inside, it had hidden compartments, weapons, and the devices Alan had invented to disrupt alien technology. Mira checked every system repeatedly. Marcus tested the engines. Alan calculated. Every trajectory, we leave at dawn, Alan said. The fewer people who know, the better. This mission is dangerous. If we fail, we could lose everything. A small crew was chosen. Alan, Mira, Marcus, and 5 of the bravest Resistance fighters. Each one knew the risks. There would be no backup. Once they left Earth, they were on their own. The night before the launch, the city above was quiet. Smoke still rose from ruined buildings. Alien ships patrolled the skies. The Resistance waited in silence, hearts pounding, minds racing. Alan whispered to the team, "Tomorrow, we go beyond what any human has ever done. Beyond Earth. Beyond fear. Remember, humans survive. Humans fight. Humans never give up." When dawn arrived, the crew moved to the ship hidden in a ruined hangar. The engines roared to life, small lights flickered, and the patched-together vessel lifted off carefully. They moved silently, avoiding alien patrols, using shadows and ruined buildings as cover. Once in orbit, they saw Earth from above. The planet was scarred, cities were gone, oceans were damaged. Yet, amidst the destruction, lights flickered in underground bunkers and tunnels. Humanity had survived. And now, some of them were heading into the stars. The ship's engines fired. And they left orbit. Stars stretched before them like endless roads. Alan navigated through asteroid fields, debris, and remnants of destroyed satellites. Mira monitored alien communications, trying to detect patrol ships or sensors. Marcus kept watch for any sudden threat. After days of careful travel, the crew reached the edge of alien-controlled space. It was vast, silent, and intimidating. Massive. Alien stations floated in orbit around distant planets. Ships patrolled in patterns that seemed impossible to understand. Alan studied the patterns. We can't fight them directly. Not yet, but we can sneak past the outer defenses. That is our only chance. The crew moved slowly, staying in shadows, using asteroids and debris as cover. Every sound, every movement was tense. Alien sensors passed near them, but the human ship remained undetected. Then, they encountered the first alien scout ship. It was small but heavily armed. Its sensors scanned their path. Mira activated Alan's device. A pulse of energy disrupted the alien ship's systems temporarily. The scout floundered, then moved away. The humans exhaled in relief. It was their first taste of alien space combat. Further ahead, they discovered a massive alien outpost orbiting a small planet. Alan studied the blueprints of the outpost he had collected on Earth. "This is it," he whispered. "If we can disable its communication and energy systems, we can slow the Empire's operations in this sector. But it will be dangerous. The defenses are stronger than anything we faced on Earth." The crew prepared carefully. Marcus trained the fighters to handle alien patrols inside the outpost. Mira set the devices to disrupt shields and communication. Alan mapped every corridor, every control room, every power source. When they approached the outpost, sensors detected their presence. Alien drones moved to intercept them. The humans fired small, improvised weapons and activated the devices. Shields flickered. Energy fields dropped for a few seconds. It was enough for the humans to infiltrate. Inside the outpost, The corridors were cold, metallic, and filled with alien symbols. Drones patrolled silently. Every corner could hide death. But the humans moved carefully, using shadows, vents, and intelligence from Alan's schematics. They reached the main control room. Alan quickly placed a device on the central console. Sparks flew, screens flickered, communications dropped. Alien soldiers rushed in, but Marcus and the team fought with improvised weapons. The humans were smaller, weaker, but faster, smarter, and unpredictable. Explosives were planted to destroy the energy core. Alarms rang, drones attacked. The humans ran, narrowly escaping as the outpost exploded in fire and smoke. Outside, the alien fleet scrambled to respond. The human ship, damaged but intact, vanished into the darkness of space. The victory was immense. Not only had they destroyed an alien facility, but they had also proven that humans could strike in the heart of enemy space. The resistance had taken the fight beyond Earth, into territory the aliens thought was safe. Back in the ship, the crew celebrated briefly. Alan smiled. We did it. But this is only the beginning. The Empire is vast. They will retaliate. And they will not forget us. Mira nodded. We have learned something important. We can fight them. Even here, even in their space. They are strong, but not invincible. Marcus looked out at the stars. Then we keep moving. We learn. We strike. Humans survive because we are clever, and we fight because we have no choice. As they traveled further, they encountered more alien patrols, dangerous asteroid fields, and strange phenomena. Each challenge tested their skills, courage, and unity. Every day, they learned more about the alien empire, their strength, their weaknesses, and their patterns. Alan discovered that the alien ships relied heavily on centralized energy sources. Disrupting these could cripple fleets temporarily. Mira designed more devices to exploit this flaw. Marcus trained the crew in stealth, combat, and survival. The journey was long and perilous. Supplies ran low. The ship was damaged in minor skirmishes. Tensions rose among the crew. Fear, exhaustion, and uncertainty tested their resolve. Yet, every challenge brought them closer together. Trust, skill, and courage became stronger with each passing day. One night, as the ship drifted near a small, uninhabited planet, Alan studied alien communications. He discovered a weak signal pattern, a route that led directly toward the Empire's inner territories. It was heavily guarded, but if they navigated carefully, it could lead to the heart of alien power. Mira looked at him with wide eyes. You mean, we can strike at the Empire itself? Alan nodded. Yes, but it will be the most dangerous mission we have ever undertaken. One mistake, and we die. But it is our only chance to truly fight back and learn their secrets. Marcus placed a hand on Alan's shoulder. Then we go. We are humans. We survive. We fight. We win. Or we die trying. But we do not surrender. The crew prepared for the final approach. Every system was checked. Weapons were readied. Devices were calibrated. The human ship, small but determined, moved toward the heart of alien space. Above them, the stars stretched endlessly. The alien empire awaited, vast, powerful, and unaware that humans were coming. A species they thought weak was now brave, clever, and unstoppable. The journey to alien space had begun. The humans were no longer hiding. They were hunters, explorers, and warriors. Every star ahead held danger, opportunity, and the chance to change the course of the universe. Somewhere in the Empire, alien commanders sensed disturbance in their territories. Their calculations failed to predict the humans' movements. Machines could not understand courage, ingenuity, or the human spirit. Alan, Mira, Marcus, and the crew looked at each other. We are ready, Alan said quietly. The Empire will learn one thing. Humans do not surrender. Humans fight. Humans always survive. The stars ahead promised danger, adventure, and discovery. Humanity had left Earth behind. They were now in the heart of enemy space. And the real war, the war across the stars, was only beginning. The human ship moved silently through the heart of alien space. Stars stretched endlessly in every direction, and strange, distant planets glimmered like jewels in the dark. Alan, Mira, Marcus, and the small crew had already faced countless dangers: asteroid fields, alien patrols, and deadly environmental hazards. But nothing compared to what lay ahead: the Central Command Station of the alien empire. Alan studied the holographic display carefully. "This station," he said, pointing at a massive structure orbiting a small, barren planet, "controls all operations in this sector. Destroy it, and we cripple their fleet for days. But it is heavily defended. We cannot rush in blindly." Mira frowned. "We barely made it through the outer defenses. How do we get close without being detected?" Marcus leaned over the console. "We strike smart. Stealth first, then precision. We know their routines. We know their weaknesses. We've fought before, and we survive." The crew prepared meticulously. Explosives were packed. Disruptor devices were charged. The ship's hull was reinforced with alien metal scavenged during previous missions. Every member of the crew knew the risks. This mission could be their last. As they approached the command station, sensors detected patrol drones. The humans held their breath. Mira activated the disruptor devices. A pulse of energy rippled across the nearby drones, causing them to lose tracking for several seconds. The human ship slipped through the shadows. "Move in closer to the station." Inside the command station, alien commanders monitored the outer space. Their ships patrolled systematically, but they had underestimated the humans. The intruders were clever, moving in ways machines could not predict. Alan guided the crew along a hidden approach route he had calculated from intercepted signals. "Follow the shadows. Avoid sensors. Timing is everything." The ship weaved past massive energy barriers, spinning defenses, and patrolling drones. Every second was tense. One mistake could alert the entire station and summon reinforcements, but humans were unpredictable. They moved silently, using every trick learned from months of resistance. Marcus led the fighters in silent preparation. He checked weapons, ensured everyone was ready, and reminded them, "We are humans. We survive. We fight. We do not give up." Finally, they reached the station's perimeter. Alan studied the energy flows. "This is it. The shields are strong, but we have a chance. If we disable them for even 30 seconds, we can strike at the core." Mira activated the device. Energy barriers flickered, lights dimmed, and alarms briefly sounded. The crew moved quickly, planting explosives near the central energy core. Sparks flew, and the core began to overheat. Suddenly, alarms blared loudly. Alien drones swarmed the area. Marcus shouted orders. "Move! Cover each other! Stay low!" The crew fought with determination. Every step was dangerous. Every corner could hide death. Improvised weapons clashed with alien technology. But humans were fast, clever, and unpredictable. They moved with precision, using the station's layout to their advantage. Alan reached the final console. He activated the sequence to overload. The core. Lights flickered wildly. Sparks shot across the room. Mira and Marcus covered him, fending off alien attacks. The core reached critical temperature. Explosives detonated, creating a massive chain reaction. The station shuddered violently. Alarms became sirens of impending doom. The crew sprinted toward the ship, dodging collapsing corridors, fires, and falling debris. Outside, the explosion lit the darkness of space. A shockwave radiated across the sector. Alien ships scrambled to respond, but the human ship had already vanished into shadows, carrying its crew to safety. The victory was immense. Not only had they destroyed the command station, but they had also disrupted alien operations across the sector. Communications were down. Supply lines were interrupted. Alien patrols became disorganized. The crew celebrated briefly. Alan looked at the stars. This is the turning point. The Empire is powerful, but they are not invincible. We have shown them that humans fight back. And we have learned their weaknesses. Mira nodded. We can strike again. We can fight smarter, harder, and closer to their core. We've changed the balance. Marcus clenched his fists. Humans are dangerous. They cannot calculate our courage. They cannot predict our ingenuity. And now they will see what happens when we fight for our world. As the human ship returned toward Earth, word of the attack spread across the resistance network. Survivors cheered quietly in hidden bunkers and tunnels. The first major victory in alien space had lifted morale. Humanity had proven it could fight beyond Earth, strike powerful targets, and survive. But the aliens were not idle. They adapted quickly, recalibrating patrols and upgrading defenses. They began hunting more aggressively, determined to crush any resistance. The humans knew that every success came with a greater risk. Alan studied the data collected during the mission. They rely on centralized energy. We can exploit this in other sectors. Their ships are strong, but predictable if we understand the patterns. The key is intelligence and speed. Mira worked on improving devices. Disruptors became more powerful, capable of temporarily shutting down larger ships and systems. Marcus trained more fighters in stealth and combat. Supplies were organized, escape routes mapped, and coordination improved across the resistance network. The turning point had not just been the victory in alien space. It had been a shift in human confidence, strategy, and unity. Survivors who once hid in fear now trained, learned, and prepared. They were no longer just survivors. They were warriors. Alan realized that humans had a unique advantage. Aliens calculate probabilities, he said. Humans do not. We adapt, we improvise. We fight with courage and unpredictability. That is why we survive. Marcus added, and that is why we will win. They may have technology, but we have spirit. And spirit cannot be measured or defeated by machines. As they approached Earth, the crew saw signs of hope. Small fires had been extinguished. Survivors were reorganizing. Resistance groups coordinated missions. Humanity was awakening, stronger and more determined than ever. Alan, Mira, and Marcus met in a secure bunker to plan the next steps. The Empire is vast, Alan said. But we have shown we can strike. Next, we take the fight closer to their heart. We learn more. We prepare. Mira looked determined. Every mission teaches us. Every victory, no matter how small, strengthens our people. We can do this. We must. Marcus smiled grimly. Then we go forward. No hesitation. No fear. Humans fight. Humans survive, and humans take back what is ours. The turning point had arrived. Humanity was no longer passive. They were no longer hiding. The war had escalated. From Earth to the far reaches of alien space, humans were awake, dangerous, and ready. The stars held danger. The Empire held power, but humans held determination, intelligence, and spirit. And that was something the aliens could never understand, calculate, or defeat. The Resistance prepared for the next phase of their plan. Supplies were ready, devices improved, and intelligence updated. Every member of the crew knew the risks. Every survivor on Earth knew the stakes, but one truth remained clear. Humanity had taken the first major step. They had fought in the heart of alien space. They had destroyed critical targets. They had survived against overwhelming odds. And now, with confidence and courage, humans were ready to turn the war in their favor. The Empire had been shaken. The turning point had arrived. Above the ruins of conquered worlds, alien fleets scrambled to respond. Machines could not comprehend the humans' unpredictability. Calculations failed. Strategies collapsed. And in the shadows, humans prepared for the next strike. Alan looked at the crew. We have reached the turning point. From now on, every action matters. Every mission counts. And we will show the universe that humans do not surrender. Mira, Marcus, and the crew nodded. The fire of determination burned brightly. They had faced death, destruction, and impossible odds and survived. The war was far from over. But humanity had found its strength, its strategy, and its courage. The turning point had come, and the fight for Earth and the galaxy had only just begun. The humans had struck deep into alien space. They had destroyed supply convoys, sabotaged energy stations, and even attacked a command station. Every victory gave them confidence. Every mission taught them something new about the enemy. But now, the Resistance faced the greatest challenge of all, the alien empire itself. Alan, Mira, Marcus, and the crew gathered in the underground bunker-turned-command center. Holographic displays lit the room with glowing stars, alien fleets, and planets. Every sensor, every signal, had been analyzed. The data showed one thing clearly: the alien empire had regrouped, preparing to retaliate with full force. Marcus slammed his fist on the table. They think they can crush us. They think they can destroy Earth. They are wrong. Humans don't wait. Humans fight. And we will take this battle to them once and for all. Mira adjusted the disruptor devices and checked the explosives. We've learned their weaknesses. We can hit their energy cores, their shields, and their command centers. But it will be dangerous. We must be precise. One mistake, and we all die. Alan nodded. The final reckoning will not just be about survival. It will be about retaliation, strategy, and victory. We strike at the heart of their empire. If we succeed, we cripple them permanently. If we fail, humanity could end. The crew prepared a fleet of small, fast ships. They were built from scavenged parts, reinforced with alien metals, and equipped with disruptor devices. Each ship carried explosives and supplies for a one-way mission. There would be no turning back. Alan addressed the assembled Resistance leaders. This mission is critical. Every crew member must know their role. Stealth, speed, and precision will be our weapons. Fear will be our enemy. Courage will be our shield, and humanity will be our strength. The fleet lifted off quietly. They moved in formation, using shadows of asteroids, planetary rings, and debris fields to stay hidden. Every sensor beeped, every display glowed. The tension was palpable. One mistake could reveal them to the alien empire. As they approached the alien homeworld, massive fleets patrolled orbit. The ships were enormous, bristling with weapons and drones. The humans could feel the weight of the empire's power. But fear did not stop them. It sharpened their senses. Every crew member moved with purpose. Every decision calculated carefully. Marcus guided the fleet through a narrow path between asteroid belts, avoiding patrols. "Stay calm," he said. "Stay focused. We strike fast, hit hard, and disappear before they know what happened." Alan monitored alien communication signals. "The shields around the capital station are strong," he warned. "We must coordinate perfectly. Disruptors, then explosives, then retreat. Timing is everything." The first wave of human ships activated the devices. Pulses of energy rippled through the alien defenses. Shields flickered. Weapon systems glitched. Drones paused mid-flight. The humans had created a small window of opportunity. The crew moved swiftly. Explosives were placed on energy cores, supply depots, and command nodes. Sparks flew, alarms blared, and the first explosions rocked the alien station. Fires spread. Rapidly, energy conduits melted and systems failed. Alien forces responded immediately. Massive ships turned toward the intruders. Drones swarmed, lasers fired, and shields reactivated. But the humans had anticipated this. They used shadows, evasive maneuvers, and speed to avoid destruction. Improvised weapons were fired, alien. Systems disrupted, and corridors became battlegrounds. Alan, Mira, and Marcus led a small team inside the station. Every hallway was dangerous. Drones hovered silently. Alien soldiers moved with precision. Every step could be fatal. Yet the humans advanced with courage, using intelligence and unpredictability to their advantage. Explosives were planted near the Central Command. Alan activated the disruptor device one final time. Energy barriers flickered, systems overloaded, and alarms screamed across the station. The humans ran. The corridors shook. Fires consumed walls. Sparks flew everywhere, outside. The fleet saw the alien station begin to collapse. Massive explosions lit the dark of space. Shockwaves shattered nearby ships. Communication signals went dark. Alien patrols scattered in confusion. The human fleet moved quickly, retreating to safety, but remaining in position to continue the fight. The victory was staggering. The alien empire had suffered a massive blow. Supply chains were destroyed. Command networks failed. Fleet coordination collapsed. The humans had struck the heart of the empire, and it had shaken the aliens to their core. Alan watched the remaining alien ships regroup. "They are powerful," he said quietly. "But they cannot predict humans. They cannot calculate courage, ingenuity, or spirit. And we have all three in abundance." Mira looked at the burning alien station. "We've done the impossible. But they will come after us harder. We must prepare for retaliation." Marcus clenched his fists. "Let them come. Humans are ready. We've fought the impossible before. We've survived, struck, and returned. We will do it again." The fleet returned toward Earth, battered but victorious. Every ship carried heroes. Every crew member had faced death and survived. The stories of bravery, sacrifice, and ingenuity spread across the resistance network. Humanity had shown it could fight in the heart of enemy space and win. Back on Earth, survivors gathered to hear the news. Bunkers and hidden tunnels erupted in quiet celebration. People who had once hidden in fear now trained, planned, and prepared. The spirit of resistance had become unstoppable. Alan addressed the resistance. "Leaders, this is the final reckoning. We've struck at their heart. We've learned their weaknesses, but the war is not over. We must remain vigilant. Every mission counts. Every life matters. And we will continue to fight until humanity is free." Mira added, "We've proven that humans are clever, brave, and unpredictable. That is our greatest weapon. The aliens cannot calculate it, cannot control it, and cannot destroy it." Marcus stood tall. "And that is why we will win. They may have technology, fleets, and numbers, but we have courage, strategy, and spirit. And spirit cannot be measured, defeated, or broken." The human fleet repaired, refueled, and prepared for the next phase. Supplies were distributed. Devices were improved. Intelligence reports were updated. Every member of the resistance knew the stakes. The alien empire, meanwhile, scrambled to respond. Calculations failed. Systems crashed. Fleets became disorganized. The humans had struck where the aliens thought impossible. Fear spread among the machines. Commands went unanswered. Alan, Mira, Marcus, and the crew planned the next strike. "We fight smart," Alan said. "We fight fast. We fight together. And we do not stop until Earth is free, and the alien empire knows the cost of challenging humanity." The turning point had become a new beginning. Humans were no longer hiding. They were no longer passive. They had struck the heart of an empire and survived. Now every mission, every battle, every step forward would take them closer to ultimate victory. The stars themselves seemed to recognize the courage of the humans. The alien empire had underestimated them. Machines could not understand spirit. Computers could not calculate bravery. And now, humans had shown the universe what it truly meant to fight. Alan looked at the crew one last time. The final reckoning is not a single battle, he said. It is every action we take, every mission we plan, every life we protect. Humanity fights. Humanity survives, and humanity wins. The human fleet moved forward, ready to continue the war, reclaim Earth, and take the fight to the aliens. Every star ahead held danger, opportunity, and the promise of victory. And somewhere in the heart of the alien empire, machines, calculations, and commanders realized one terrifying truth. Humans do not surrender, humans fight. Humans are unstoppable. Final reckoning had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same again.